Hello and welcome, dearest. I'm Grandma Mimsy, and I had a question on color and polish that was asked of me. So I'm not a fan of calling out people on socials or bringing anybody's identity into anything they're not prepared for. But Mrs. D is such an amazing follower, and if she would like to, I invite you to add in your social contacts so that others can follow and see your amazing stuff as well. I know that a lot of women really lean towards and love the color or shades of purple, and there are so many options out there. And then there is this term blurple, and if I understand it as well, it is a bluish leaning purple. And Maniology, and this is in no specific order that I just grabbed these. These are what I have available that are in the shade family. Similar, I have a bunch more pinks and reds than this. I just grabbed a few. I also have many I can't find because based on my math of which I can't do in my head, so simple and easy numbers, getting 2 a month for a year would be 24 polishes, and for 5 years that would be in upwards of over 100, and I don't even have that. Plus the occasional bundle and other special purchases along the way, I would expect to have closer to 200 or 300, and like I said, so they got to be still in storage somewhere because I know I'm missing colors. I can't find them all, but that's okay. We'll eventually get there. My favorite in this shade is a cross, and it's these ones here. I really don't know how to explain because they have differences and similarities, so I'm going to kind of cover that. The ultimate favorite is Hex. I absolutely love this. This was a Halloween release last year, that early release that came in the box of shadows. It's a glitter polish, so I love it because it's sparkly and it's that purpley shade. It's just, glitter's difficult to get off. My next is Gloom, and I want to say this was also Halloween related to, I don't remember which season or when. It's more leaning gold. And there's another one I know of, I just can't find it, that's more leaning silver, which is why I like Hex. These two are fairly faint. These ones are dark. And this is Stellar and Dearest Aurora. And Stellar is more of my favorite than Dearest Aurora. And I can't explain why. It's just that these ones need multiple coats, depending on what level you're trying to get. So if you're looking for something that you can't find on Maniology's website, and what I'm a feature that many people may or may not know is that if you go in, log into your account, or if you're not a member and you don't want to log in to that level, on the left hand side is the 3 lines of the menu. If you click on that, there is a link just to polish, and on the left side there's a sorting feature where you can click on a shade and it will narrow down for you. Now, that being said, what I have learned is that with Maniology, and I love their colors, I love their options, I love the enormity of what they have, because again, Stellar and Dearest Aurora are super similar, but completely different in how they look on the nail and how their similarities. So there's a very wide range of being able to find multiple shades that you could possibly be looking for. But if you can't find what you're looking for, and whereas the round bottles like this are the stamping polish, all polish is you can stamp with, but you won't get the same results with other brands and other types of polish. So all polish can be used to stamp. You're just not going to get the same experience or the same pickup and crispness of the application process. So don't be confused that you have to buy a specific stamping polish. But different formulations are designed for different things and they give different results. But in these two shades, which are sold as a polish, and both are supposed to be a blue, and this one is Blue Note, and this one is Lace, they appear and work completely differently than what you might anticipate. And they do not show up in the bottle the same way they do on your nail. Helps to be in frame. So Blue Note is very sheer, and while it does show up blue, it's more of a darker sheer color, and even on a nail is fairly sheer and see-through, depending on how much polish you use. Whereas Lace is even more sheer, but more blue. And Lace in the bottle looks like it would be extremely dark. And there's a lot of polish that I just used on that. And it is not very dark at all. So, depending on what you're looking for, and then there's the, whoops, make a mess out of that. Then it depends on the purpose. Are you looking for a shade or a color to be a base coat or a stamping polish? And how you intend on using it is also another feature. If you're looking for a base coat, then one thing that most people may not be aware of, Maniology does, at a very affordable price, sell individual bottles. So it is their actual signature bottle. It does not have a label. It does have this on the top, and it will say Maniology on it, but there's no shade sticker. I don't believe they have the metal balls in them, but you can also buy those individually as well. So if you are looking for a specific color or a specific shade, and this comes from my experience in a completely abstract way in my life that so happened. I was not a community theater type person, or so I thought, and I never had any intention of having anything to do with acting or the theater. And I ended up in college working and taking classes for theater and being behind the stage. the option to get me on stage in front of people, that's gonna be not something I ever will plan on doing or want to do in any way, shape, or form. But it did give me a huge background in color theory and my other experiences, and also trainings. And I was not privileged, but by circumstance ended up in a very weird way going through what you could consider charm school at a very young age. I think I was 5 or 6. I didn't have a stage mom, so that was not that pressure. It was just I ended up in this area. I had a bizarre life. I'm just gonna say that. I was not privileged. I did not have a warm and fuzzy, loving family. But at the same time, I was a child model and did fashion shows with kids' clothing. And along with that came makeup and personal care. So I have been doing my nails myself and was taught how to do this professionally, not as a manicurist, but as a do-your-own type situation since I was 6. So I've been at this a while, a lot of decades there. But with color theory and makeup application and are you cool or are you warm, and getting a color wheel and knowing all this stuff does make things a lot easier. And so I get it, trying to find that perfect shade of that perfect color is not easy to do. Well, you can get empty bottles and the ball bearings from Maniology for quite an affordable price. I've looked on other sites, and Maniology's is better than the other places that I've searched for. And I've searched a lot. And as I've said, my favorite plate in the world, because there are so many things you can do with this plate. And I've done videos on this plate before, but I will do a little bit more of an in-depth one on this in the future. I have several plans for a bunch of my plates to show the versatility and the options that they give you in the things that you can do. Oh, I can't do nail art. Yes, you can. The plates that they put out just do some things, but you can create your own shade. And this was something I was trying to work on and do, and it just kind of happened that what I was trying to create I couldn't figure out, and this is a happy accident. And I just had these sitting down, and Hubster walks by and goes, "Ooh, I love those. I like that." And this was not what I intended to do. And this is how it came out. And so I've saved these because this is just, there's something about it that just grabs you and that you can do. And the simple answer to that is to take whatever shade you think you want to take, and on this one, do a few drops in where you think you might want to have it. And if this is too dark or too light, well, then you can add. You want more of a blue. Here's my favorite in the blue. Also, I don't remember which one it came in. Celestial is a very deep blue with lots of sparkle, and you can make it more blue. You can then do a base to make it less of something, and this is, I think, Lilac Clouds. Do a little dot of that. Yes, this is Lilac Clouds. And then you can take your tool from whatever source, and this is a dotting tool I got in a kit, and I also have the Maniology one, and I don't use the Maniology one much because they're so pretty. I don't, I'll eventually break them open. I love them, and they're beautiful and gorgeous. So to whatever degree that you want, you can lightly mix, or you can completely mix, and you can get something absolutely amazing. And get my ugly stamper. That, yes, ugly stamper, because I use it a lot and it gets messed up a lot, and I have plans to repaint it because we want to make it less ugly. So then you can use this in any fashion you want, and hopefully I'm in screen where you can see. And using this, although it looks swirly, this is what you end up with. So you have a completely new shade that can go in whatever direction you want, whether it is more blue, more purple, and then if that's not the direction that you wanted, then, well, this one is Fairy Tale. So let's try adding a little of that. And one of my other ultimate favorites is Aphrodite, and there's one that came out in a Halloween one, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's similar to this. This is, like I said, is Aphrodite, but there's another one that came out. It's a green and a purple that is very vividly trippy, holographically beautiful. And it's just, I haven't seen it, so I know it's got to be in storage. And then where is my Ultimate Red Bloodbender? This was also a Halloween one. It leans a little bit more orange, and I'm not a huge fan of that either. But this, there's something about this shade. And so then let's throw back in, oh, let's throw in Cosmos. Cosmos is super, it's not as sparkly, but it's got some depth to it. We love Cosmos. And then leather. Throw in a little leather. Let's see what we get. I am the mad scientist of all things. When I make coffee, it takes 20-30 minutes because there's a process of how do you grind the beans, how do you cook the beans, how do you heat the water, how do you intermix everything in. So we got that a little bit more on the red side. This is more purple red than it is blue. So Kraken, that's a deep blue. So I do things in a very nutty professor, mad scientist kind of way. I'm intense and not everyone's cup of tea, because I know, I get that, but that's okay. There's benefits to all things. Okay, that's more of a bluish. Oh wow, I like that. I wasn't even attempting. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's move this over here. Where'd my ugly stamper go? We'll clean that off. See what shade we got there. And we're going to go for the middle section here. I'm going to totally cover up whatever we did before. And that's an interesting shade. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, this is where the second one is, but where it kind of leans over in this one and mixes, there's this section right here where they overlap. I like that one even better. So, happy accidents. There is that phrase, necessity is the mother of invention. So if somebody doesn't create it or have it available for you, you don't have to do it on this plate. That there are other things that you can get. And did I stick it? No, where do I have it? There's a set I got, because again, mad scientist. You can get nail trays and paint gizmos where you can experiment all on your own. And become the experimental nailologist and create what you're looking for is, I think, the best option. Because once you figure out the mix, it's 2 drops, 1 drop, half a drop. You have the recipe. I don't follow recipes on the back of the box of anything or out of the cookbook. I look at it and go, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I get the items. And about 5 steps in, I'm completely went off the side of the rails. And the dish has absolutely nothing to do with what I was intending on cooking. And yet, people love it. And chances of me recreating it is slim to none, even though I take notes. So I'm by feel, and if I'm having a bad day, what I'm cooking does not come out well. So that's just kind of the way things go. And if I'm having a bad day, neither do my nails. So we're in the middle of doing another manicure transition of things, so I just thought I would pop this in and share the inner working cogs. Yeah, August's box was steampunk, so there's a lot of gears moving in my brain. I hope this helps and answers all of your questions, and if not, leave them in the comments, and I'm happy to do a video to explain things. So thank you for subscribing, following, commenting, encouraging me. I love you all so much, and please be kind. Let's work. It takes the same amount of energy to be angry and mean and harsh as it does to be kind and caring and empathetic. So where do you choose to put your energy? And as much as my She-Hulk can come out and I can dish it, I don't choose to want to be that person. So I work exceptionally hard at being extra kind because we all deserve it. So please be kind and find extra ways to pay kindness forward. And I believe if you send out appreciation and kindness and gratitude to others, just because, you will find more appreciation, kindness, and gratitude comes back to you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.